Welcome all. Sarah, I like your flag.
One of the things I grabbed before I left school when we closed, I thought, oh my gosh, what if it's still happening during Yom Ha'atzmaut? I need a big flag. And here it is. I had it behind me all week teaching.
Very nice, very nice.
I'm taking a bet on the over-under of how many times I have to swat away a dog or direct a child with this arm.
What does that mean?
Okay.
I don't have like a picture I can put frozen on my thing.
I downloaded this wonderful beach scene, but the way the green screen works, my hands tend to disappear.
I know, that's why I didn't use it. That's why I put up the flag, because it does weird things to the line of your body.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I noticed that teaching.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi. The kids are all like jumbled when they put the green screen on, and I'm like, what's happening?
Yep. Hi, Leora. Efrat.
Boker tov.
Boker tov.
So Harayim Tovim.
Tzorayim tovim. Nachon.
Hey everyone.
Wow.
People complain here Yom Ha'atzmaut without falafel.
I had some the other day. It was quite tasty. Thank you.
Where did you get it?
I made some.
Oh, you made her
Hi,
some?
Dad.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We have about 30 plus people who have registered, so we will
Great.
let them all join here.
Hi, Mimi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Mark. Hi, Moshe. Two rabbis.
I could not get the green screen thing to work.
Yeah, the green screen thing doesn't work. I'm gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
If you, on your video, I think there's an option when you do a virtual to do the green screen or not, and I forget which one works better.
Yeah, but you need but if you don't, it depends. It depends
If
on
you
the color
have a
that's
solid-
behind you.
Oh.
So I look like I'm floating in space with the pictures that are on my wall. It's a very strange look, so.
All right, forget it.
Hi, Molly.
Hi.
And David.
Well, David's running. And
Oh, it's just his name. Okay.
Can you say hi? Can you say
Hi,
happy
Ben.
birthday?
Benjamin. Hello.
Bye, Ben.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's got his gloves on. He's ready to go do yard work.
That's next. Definitely.
Okay. Oh, wait.
I'll move you, Mom.
Where's
so
my
that you-
mouse?
I'll move you so you can see better.
Okay.
It's really bright behind you.
Well, I'm going to,
See the screen?
since it's 11:59, according to my computer, I figure we'll give it a couple minutes and we can start at 12:02. So feel free to say hi to somebody you haven't seen in a while or mute yourself, but I will mute everybody when we go to start. So,
Unless I've seen you in the Giant Eagle, I haven't seen any of you. So it's good to see everybody.
Really? Great.
Molly.
Hi. Why don't you say hi to
Hey,
Fred?
Rachel.
Hi, Benjamin.
You say hi, Fred?
Next to you.
I miss all these kids.
Efrat. Efrat. Oh, yeah. You see that? My mom's here too.
Hi, Ruth.
Mom.
wonderful. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh,
Rachel.
That's,
very nice.
I have to mute myself if I'm going to talk.
Okay.
Keep looking to the left, watching my children try to feed themselves lunch while I do this.
Welcome, welcome. Another few minutes. Give folks a chance to click on here and join us from wherever they have to be. I'm sure some of you are outside or by a window enjoying the sunshine.
I was just
Joel, I think you and I have the same background. Great minds think alike.
Yes, I picked that because I saw that on your background. So I thought, oh, I can walk on the same beach.
Again, I know we have about 30-something people that registered for this call, and we've only got about 17, 18 folks, so we'll give it a few more minutes. Okay, it is now 12:04. I am hoping a few more folks will join us, but I have a few housekeeping notes before I turn it over to Todd Polikoff. So thank you for joining us. And again, just a few housekeeping notes. So I am muting everybody except for me. So until it is their turn to speak during our program, which I can put in the chat box in a second. Just to also let you know that today's event is being recorded and will be available to those who are unable to join right this moment. It is also currently being streamed on our Jewish Akron Facebook page, and somebody just texted me and said they are watching it that way. So hang on one second. I'm going to put the program in the chat. That way we will all know what's going on. Okay. Nope, wait. Here we go. And okay, so now I would like to turn it over to Todd Polikoff, who I will unmute.
Hey, Mommy, are you the host?
All right.
Are you the host?
I'm unmuted. Great. So I want to thank all of you for joining. Those I don't know, I'm Todd Polikoff. I'm the CEO of the Jewish Community Board of Akron. I want to thank all of you for joining us today for this Yom Ha'atzmaut program virtually. Despite the awkwardness of this arrangement, I don't think it will stop us, and it shouldn't stop us from celebrating Yom Ha'atzmaut with the same pride, the same passion, and the same unity that we would if we were all together. We have a terrific program in place for this afternoon, and I want to thank our local synagogue, spiritual leaders, volunteer leadership for helping put this program together. I also want to thank our previous community shlichim who we'll be hearing from, and Israel's ambassador to the United States, Danny Dayan, who will also be participating in the program. I especially want to thank JCBA's Director of External Affairs, Erin Katz-Ford, and the Israel and Overseas Committee Chair, Brian Rolnick-Fox, for navigating the remote working landscape that we're all dealing with to pull this day together. So today we're celebrating the founding of the State of Israel. And in doing so, we are recalling the sacrifices that were made and continue to be made for the survival, growth, and prosperity of the only Jewish state in the world. But there's another celebration, I believe, that goes beyond being the only true democracy in the Middle East, the achievements of the startup nation, and beyond the indelible mark that Israel and Israeli advancements in art, medicine, technology, culture have made in the fabric of our global society. Yom Ha'atzmaut is also the celebration of the establishment of Jewish self-determination. It's the commemoration of the day when Jews declared that only we would determine our fate, only we would determine our future, and only we would determine our survival. It's the day when we declared, through the existence of the State of Israel, that there will never again be a homeless Jew. In closing, I want to share a moment in time that I'm reminded of at Yom Ha'atzmaut. In 2009, Prime Minister Netanyahu went to Germany, and while he was there, he visited the Wannsee Villa in Berlin, the place that the final solution was planned in 1942 by Hitler and the Third Reich. In the visitor's book, Netanyahu wrote 3 words in Hebrew and then translated them into English. He wrote, Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live. Over 60 years after that decision was made, in the very place where that decision was made, the prime minister of a powerful and successful Jewish state entered the building and declared that those who have planned and failed, and defiantly writes the words, Am Yisrael Chai, the nation of Israel lives. This is the story. These are the words that encapsulate what Yom HaAtzmaut, the state of Israel, and the power of Jewish self-determination mean to me. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Where's the us? I have an us. I want to thank you for joining us.
Hello.
I want to thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the program, and Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a message from the consulate, Ambassador Dani Dayan. I'm going to share my screen and screen 2. And give me a second.
Separated by an ocean, a vast ocean, but we are united by our hearts that beat in unison. We may have different citizenship.
Oh, come on.
We may carry different passports in our pockets, but we belong to the same ancient, glorious people, the Jewish people. And even if we reside in different places, when we pray, we face the same city, Jerusalem. So now these days, a new barrier is trying to separate between us, the coronavirus. In days of distress for the Jewish community here or for the state of Israel, we know that we immediately come to the help of each other. In these days it's difficult because each one of us has its own struggle. It's also difficult physically because out of dozens of daily flights between North America and Israel, only one daily flight remains. But even this vicious virus that causes so much suffering here and in Israel cannot separate between us. Even in these days, we know the utmost Jewish premise, Kol Israel Arevim Ze Lazeh. And we know that as we Israelis have you in our heart, in our prayers, we Israelis are in your hearts, in your prayers. We celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut, the 72nd anniversary of the Jewish state, the state of Israel, a state that is 3,000 years old as it is 72 years young. We made huge achievements. We achieved huge achievements in these 72 years. We became a technological powerhouse, an economic thriving country, and much more than that. If we compare that with our situation 72 years ago, our precarious situation 72 years ago, is really mind-boggling. But I think that the real way in which we should see Yom HaAtzmaut is comparing it with 2,000 years of dispersion, of oppression, of discrimination, and even of massacre. We are the luckiest Jewish generation in 2,000 years, and that's a good reason to celebrate. And that's the reason that for me, Yom HaAtzmaut is not only an Israeli holiday, it's a Jewish holiday. It doesn't belong only to Israelis, it belongs to every Jew all over the world. Because, paraphrasing our common patriarch, Abraham, Ki anashim achim anachnu. Because brethren we are. Chag Atzmaut Sameach.
Thank you. I would now like to turn it over to Rabbi Moshe Sasankin, who I will unmute. Whoa.
You hear me?
We'll mute.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining again. I'm going to be starting off with a Yizkar. Yizkar is also to remember those that we have lost. Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaShoah. Now also with the coronavirus, unfortunately we have lost many in our community, not in our community locally, but unfortunately, throughout the world, many in the Jewish community. So, by the way, just want to say disclaimer, I was going to have a virtual background behind me, but even though as young as I am, not always does like technology work for you either. So pretend there's a Western Wall kotel behind me. So I was actually studying last week's portion in the Torah. It's a double portion for those of you who have studied it. Acharei Mot Kedoshim, the two names. And I thought it was very appropriate for the Yizkor that I'm going to say. Acharei Mot means after the passing, talking about the sons of Abraham, sons of Aaron, and Kedoshim means holy. And, you know, think of those who have passed, those who have been murdered, those who have been killed for the sake of God's name, for the sake of being Jewish. They are Kedoshim, they are holy. And so today we remember them, we remember those who have passed, and we remember them as holy people. And together with that, we pledge to honor their memories, to make a difference, to continue spreading good messages, doing more mitzvahs in their memory, and may God give us the strength to do so, and may God end all the suffering with only the ultimate redemption of Mashiach, where there'll be true peace, true serenity, and only happy things to share together. I'm going to recite the Yizkor now in Hebrew, followed by the English. Yizkor Elohim nishmois hakdoshim v'hatehoirim shehumesu v'shenergu v'shenishchatu v'shenisrefu v'shenitbeu v'shenechneku al kiddush Hashem Ba'avur shebli neder etein tzedakah b'daskaras nishmoiseyem b'schar zeh tiyena nafshiseihem tzirurois b'tziror hachayim im nishmois Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah im she'ar tzadikim v'tzidkaniyos shebegan Eden v'noimar Amen. May God remember the souls of the holy and the pure ones who were killed, murdered, slaughtered, burned, drowned, and strangled for the sanctification of the name. Because without a vow, we are praying and giving charity in their behalf. As reward for this, may their souls be bound in the bond of life, together with the souls of our patriarchs and matriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, and together with the other righteous men and women in the Garden of Eden. Now let us respond, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. And then Cantor Kathy was unable to be here in person today. She is, so she had sent a recording of the Il Male Rachamim. So again, I'm going to screen share, and I hope I get the audio right this time, the first time. So bear with me 1 second. All right.
Male Rachamim, Shochen Mamaromin, Hamatzeh Menucha Nechana, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, B'malot Kedoshim Otorim, Kezoher HaRakiyam Atzirim, Lenishmat Kol Gebarei Yameinu, Shemasaru Nafesham Al Gelat Artzeinu, Ana B'harachamim Hasirem B'tzel Kenafecha Le'olamim, Utro B'Yisro HaChaim Et Nishmatam, Adonai Hu Nachalatam, V'yanucha B'Shalom Al Mishkavam, V'Amar Amen.
Thank you. I would now like to turn our program over to Hazan Matt Osterklein. So hang on just 1 second. I will mute.
You're still muted. Shalom, everybody.
as we recognize those who are lost in defense of Jewish security and Jewish life in the land of Israel. We say a prayer for the state of Israel, and please sing along with me. Even as you're muted, please do join me. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael begoalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael begoalo. Barech, barech et Medinat Yisrael, Heshit Tzmichan Geulatenu, Hagein Aleha Behevrat Chasdecha, Ufroz Aleha Sutat Shlomecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael begoalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael begoalo. Ushlach orecha v'amicha v'asher asarea v'yotzea v'taknem beitzah tova Milfanecha, B'tagnim beitzah tova, Milfanecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael begoalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael begoalo. Chazek et yedei mignei eretz kodshenu, v'anchilem elenu Yeshua v'atet nisachon teatrem, v'natata shalom ba'aretz v'simchat olam liyoshveha, v'nomar Amen. Bless the land with peace and its inhabitants with lasting joy. Let us all say, Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Hazan. And now I would like to turn it over to Rachel Ashro, who will be singing the Hatikva.
Please join with me at home. Kol od balevav penima, nefesh yehudi chomia, ulefate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion tzofia. Od lovda tikvatenu, chatikva bat shnot alpayim, liatam chofshi be'artzenu, eretz Tzion Yerushalayim. Liatam chofshi be'artzenu, eretz Tzion Yerushalayim.
Thank you. So as as Efrat and I were talking about how Yom HaAtzmaut would be this year, she came up with this wonderful idea that we should collect messages from all of our former shlichim. So I have to say that because of her nudging and some very gentle nagging, she has collected lots of messages from some of our former shlichim, and I hope you will all be pleased to see some friends that we have not seen in a very long time. So hang on one second, and one more video to share.
We are fond of calling Israel our home, but what makes that We are fond of calling Israel our home, but what makes that place a home is not the buildings, but the people. In our community, we've been blessed to have wonderful shlichim, emissaries from Israel who have come and lived with us for a year or longer, become a part of the Jewish Akron community, and helped us to build a bridge that we continue to cross over back and forth as they come to visit us and we go to visit them. It's a great honor to now invite them to be a part of our Yom HaAtzmaut celebration. Welcome back home to our friends as they welcome us back to our home in Israel.
Good morning from Israel. In Corona days, everyone at home, we miss you very much. Chag Sameach, and we want to wish you Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach. This is Eden. He is 3.5. And this is old Tamar, who started talking. She is 9 months old. And we are all here at home. And we miss you. And have a Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach.
Neshikot. My dear Akron and Canton friends, Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach. Happy Independence for Israel. I'm missing you so much. I'm sending you lots of love. Here in Tel Aviv, in Rabin Square, everybody are taking the mask off already. I hope you are doing okay too. And I'm sending you lots of love. Hoping to see you soon in Israel or in Akron and Canton. See you soon. Bye. Lots of love. אוהב אתכם.
Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach. Hi, everyone.
We miss you, and we just wanted to say Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach to everyone. We're in Kibbutz Nitzanim, a very good place to be in this quarantine, and we miss you all. Yes. Bye.
Hi, my name is Sagi, and I was the Shaliach in Akron in 2002.
And we are Gur and Mayan. We were helping him to be the best Shaliach in Akron. And this is our kids, and we all want to wish you
Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach.
Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach.
Hi everyone, Maurice here. Happy Yom HaAtzmaut, Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach to all of you. I miss you so much, and I hope you're having a wonderful time. I hope to see you soon, if it's in Akron or over here in Israel. And I wish for all of us many years of friendship and happiness, and all the best I can wish to Israel and you. Yom HaAtzmaut Sameach.
Hey everyone! This is like the 5th time we're trying to record this, so hopefully it will work. This is Gil Inouye. We first of all want to say how much we miss you all. We can't believe it's been almost 2 years since we last saw you.
This year, instead of going out and partying with everyone for Yom HaAtzmaut, we'll just have to settle for watching fireworks on the balcony. But next year, we'll just party twice as hard.
We wish you all a great year with no quarantine and being able to go outside. We hope we'll see you all soon. And happy Yom HaAtzmaut.
Happy Yom HaAtzmaut.
I have one more. I have a message from Mayana that the format wouldn't quite work in our video. So last one.
Hi everyone, Shalom, it's Mayana, Chag Atzmaut Sameach. I'm so happy to be here to tell everyone Chag Sameach. I miss you guys so much. I think about the time we spent together all the time, and I'm so grateful for the memories that I have to carry with me from the time we spent together. I'm currently living in New York City. I'm a flight attendant, and I'm super grateful that I get to travel the world and do things that I love. I just wanted to say that I know we're going through a really difficult time right now, but I hope that everyone is staying safe and taking care of themselves and healthy and doing things they love. And Chag Ha'atzmaut Sameach. I miss you guys all very, very much.
So I hope you enjoyed seeing some friends that you have not seen in a very long time. It was very nice. And for the next part of our program, which I will turn over to Rabbi Alyssa Osterklein, just a few notes. I think that it would work best for our sharing session that we remind you to keep it to a few sentences so that everybody has a chance to share. I would also like to remind folks that they will remain muted until it is their turn. If you, and then Rabbi Alyssa, if you would indicate who is sharing, and if folks wish to share, they can put that in the chat box, but I will unmute them. I would also like to remind all of us that if there are comments that are deemed offensive or not in the spirit of celebrating Israel, that individual will be removed from the meeting. So Rabbi, thank you. This was a wonderful idea. And I now turn it over to you.
So I don't know if everybody can guess or knows my virtual background over here. I'll give you a moment to guess before I say it. So I chose this background because whether you've been to Israel or not, we can feel connection to the land of Israel for a whole number of reasons from the time that we're small children. And in my grandparents' house, when I was a child, the first painting when you entered into their house, my grandmother was a painter, had very close to my virtual background this scene, which is in Rosh HaNikra. And I remember every time I would go into my grandparents' house, I would look into that painting and just the blueness of the water and the rocks, just it called to me, and I was very curious and wanted to visit that place sometime in my life in person. And the year that I lived in Israel, in 2009, 2010, I had the opportunity to go hiking, and I hiked all up in that area by myself. And I remember the first time I got underneath the cliffs that I really felt like I was immersed inside that painting that my grandmother had painted. So that was a very meaningful connection to me from when I was a child to then be there in person. You don't have to have a virtual background to share a meaningful memory for you of Israel, perhaps the first time that you remember having a connection to Israel as a child, or maybe something from more recently. Would anybody, we can start maybe with the people who have the virtual backgrounds. Would anyone with a virtual background like to share? So Jenna Baker said she'd like to share.
Hi guys.
Sorry.
Hi. So my virtual background is a waterfall, and when I was in Israel, I got to do a DIY style tour where we got to choose what we did along the way, and they split us into smaller groups from the large group. And my small group that I went on one day wound up at the bottom of a waterfall, and we got to go swimming with the locals. And it was one of those spots that they just don't typically share with everybody. So that was awesome. And also my sister was talking about the sand dunes in Israel and how cool it was to go surfing the sand dunes. So yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sarah. There we go.
Yeah,
You're ready.
I got it. Yeah. So for me, well, I have the Israeli flag because I have to tell you that no matter how many times I hear or sing the Hatikva, it's emotional for me. And I think it's because from the minute I went to Israel the first time when I was in high school up till today, every time that I go, it's like coming home for me. And I feel really in touch with the history and the struggles that we've had to have our country and for what the struggles the country still goes through. I love the land, I love the people, I love the history, I love the culture, every part of the culture. And I've had an opportunity to live in Israel, and I think the most impactful time I lived in Israel was when I was there during the Yom Kippur War. And that's when I felt for the first time really connected to the struggle and really a part of it. And I love that I get to go on trips with my students. It is so amazing to watch them also love Israel and for me to hear them say that they feel at home there. And the other aspect for me about Israel is that I have family in Israel, and that really makes me feel even closer to it all.
Thanks, Sarah.
I believe Brian had said he had a virtual background. Was I mistaken? Or was a photo?
I can do it right. Hold on one second. Hi, everybody. My name is Brian Fox, and I am the chair of the Israel and Overseas Committee as part of the JCBA. My virtual background, I took it on and off because I float in like a ghost. So I'm going to step aside for a minute and just speak. This is a photograph of my sons, Jonah and Gideon. Jonah's in the blue, Gideon's in the sort of orangish shirt. And this is up in Sfat. In 2018, we were there traveling to Israel and for a family bar mitzvah, actually. And we went to Sfat separate from the rest of the tour because it's a beautiful city, but it's also sort of was one of my second homes when I lived in Israel about 20 years ago. And I spent many months in Sfat, and it's a special place for me. So if you've never been to Sfat, it's an artist colony. It's in the 16th century. It was where Kabbalah, the Jewish mysticism, was sort of founded. It's just a beautiful place. And the reason why I chose this photograph is not only can you see some of the cobblestones and some of the beauty behind it, but my boys are just having a smoothie, just like they would in Panera in Fairlawn, right? Like that, for me, that's my goal, is to have them build a relationship with Israel where it's complicated, it's messy, it's loving, it's exciting, and it's mundane. It's just normal. And so this is one of my favorite photographs from that time. So that's my spiel about my time in Israel. And thank you guys, everyone, for being here. Thank you for everyone who organized today. And I'm gonna now not be a ghost anymore and get rid of my photograph.
I think David Stock and then Rachel Ashero both said that they wanted to share.
Actually, Molly.
Oh, Molly.
But yeah, David signed up, but no, it's actually me. Sorry, I don't have any virtual background, but a little on the go. But my first trip to Israel was in 1994. Had to think about that, with March of the Living. And for those who aren't familiar with the program, you go to Poland for a week, and then you do Holocaust Remembrance Day in Poland, and then you go to Israel for a week and do Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. And my very first impression of Israel was literally getting off the plane after having been in concentration camps and going around and seeing all these places in Poland. And I personally did not, but a lot of people, when they got off the plane, kissed the ground. There was something just really beautiful and magical about that moment and what Israel really stood for after having been in Poland.
Thanks, Molly. That's a really meaningful reflection. Rachel?
I was responding to that. I share that sentiment, Molly, when I went on my March of the Living trip too. But this picture is, as you see, my bed also floating through it, which is funny. It's like bed knobs and broomsticks. This is a view of Tel Aviv from Yaffo or Jaffa. And I loved this day. This is from my birthright trip in 2013, I want to say. And it's just a beautiful picture, but I loved exploring Yafo on this day. As we were leaving in our bus, we were trying to navigate the very narrow streets of most of Israel. And we couldn't get through because there was a car parked. And this is just one of the funniest things I've ever seen. A few brawny men on our trip got off of the bus, picked up the car, and moved it so that our bus could get through. And it was just such a fun day exploring Yafo. It's beautiful up there, and just the funniest like experience seeing them move this tiny car. Because, you know, a lot of the cars there are very, very small and apparently light enough for, you know, 4 people to pick up and then move so our bus could get through. So that was just a fun memory.
Leora, did you raise your hand?
I did. So I couldn't get my virtual background to show, but it really was beautiful, the one that I chose. So the first time that I went to Israel was for my brother Michael's bar mitzvah, and my mother and I were just counting, I must have been 7. And I remember it was such a special trip, especially special because I had my Ace of Base cassette tape. But then when I went for my bat mitzvah, and we had a whole big tour bus full of my family and friends from the States, from Israel, and my mother organized this most amazing trip all around the country. And just being together in that tour bus and going from place to place, it was probably the most special trip I've ever been on. And my whole family, we all have fantastic memories of this. And I feel so very blessed that we were able to make it happen, and that everyone who was there was able to be there, and everyone was well. And thanks, Mama.
Rabbi, I believe Mimi has her hand up as I see the little icon.
Mimi, please share.
Okay. Do I have to do something to talk, or you can hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah? Well, my background is a poster from the bat mitzvah of my daughter Abby in Israel. I'm not doing too well here getting on there. On a camel. We also had a wonderful bat mitzvah experience. It was my second time in Israel, her first, and she got to go again the next year with Lippman. And camels were kind of the theme because we had her bat mitzvah overlooking Mount Scopus, and some camels came right on through during her service and joined in with our group of people that gathered to celebrate her. We went over with the Wise family, Mike and Rhonda. They were having Eric's bar mitzvah over there at the same time, so we also had quite a gathering of people touring the country. And my other daughter was there on a BBYO trip, so she brought BBYO friends to be a part of this special bat mitzvah on Mount Scopus. So lots of good memories from that, my second of 3 trips to Israel.
Bringing us some camels. Anyone else want to share? Todd.
I'm unmuted. You know, I obviously don't have a background. Like Rabbi, I could not figure it out. You know, it's funny. It's not a picture. It's more of a conversation that's been going on in my house recently. Not being able to get a haircut reminded me. I lived in Afula. I did Otzma. It's a fellowship. I moved after high school, went back after college on Otzma, and I lived in Afula. And I worked in a school for kids with cerebral palsy. And it was a regional school. And the guards there, my hair kept growing, and I didn't go to a barber or anything. And the guards there kept complaining about my hair. And one day they said, look, if we buy you a falafel, can we shave your head? And I said, sure. I didn't have any money, so I'll take a free lunch. And they shaved my head. So I've been telling my kids that I'm going to get the clippers pretty soon because it's driving me crazy. And they said, well, how would you look with a shaved head? And I pulled out these pictures, and my children, I think they've stopped laughing at this point. I'm not sure. But every time I think of Israel and I'm looking in the mirror and saying, I really need a haircut, I long for those days where, where I could actually do that. So it was, it reminded me, my hair growing is reminding me of my time in Israel every day.
Maybe one more person. Is there one more person who'd like to share a memory or experience, a place in Israel they feel connected to? April, our last one, April.
I have been to Israel 4 times, thank God. And the last time I was there, 2014, I was there for a few weeks, and such an awesome privilege. But one memory that I just keep going back to, it was walking along a path with stone walls beside me and pomegranates down on the ground. I looked up and there's trees lining the path, dropping their fruit. And to me, Israel's a land of plenty and beauty, and I'm hopelessly devoted. So I can't wait for my next trip. I have a ticket for August, and we'll see what happens if travel is permitted. That's my memory.
I say you're blessed in being able to go. I know this is a rough time for travel, so hopefully things will be safe for you to have another Israel experience soon. Erin, turning it back over to you.
Thank you, Rabbi. That was a wonderful idea, listening to people share. So I know Brian had one more, being our chair of the Israel and Overseas Committee, had one more announcement before we wrap it up.
Hi, everybody. Less of an announcement, just really a gratitude for everyone attending, as well as for the people who shared their stories. You know, one of the beautiful things about being part of Jewish Akron is we're small but mighty. And this, in some ways, I don't know if anybody else got to see some of the other virtual Israel festivals that were happening through the Jewish Federation, which was awesome, and all these other things. And, you know, when it's such a large function, you're not really connecting. It's engaging, it's interactive in a lot of other ways, but it was so beautiful because we got to actually hear personal stories from one another that we might not have shared. And even when we have our normal Israel festival, we're not necessarily spending time engaging in this way. So it was really actually surprisingly special to that we had this format, that we were forced into this format, but then the silver lining, the beauty that came out of it was hearing these personal stories. So I wanted to thank you all for attending. Thank you for the special stories. And then just a little bit of action. The action is, if you were moved by the stories that you heard today from people's personal stories, send them an email, send them a text message, a Facebook message, and say thank you, and just connect on that. Just connect with the other. If you have a story that you didn't tell today, share it on Facebook or reach out to a friend. If you did an Israel program 15 or 20 years ago, reach out to that friend you haven't talked to in a while and just reconnect. That would be my suggestion for everybody as we leave out for today. So thank you so much, and I'll pass it back to Erin to wrap up.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. I enjoyed hearing all the stories, and I will share that while I have been to Israel way back when, I never got to go to Eilat. It was not on the birthright trip list. So this is my background, is a picture of Eilat. So one of the places that eventually I would like to get back and see, or actually go see. So thank you all for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. So, and I will end the meeting. If you wish to spread the word to others, they can catch the recording, or they may have streamed it on Facebook. So thank you for participating. Thank you all.